We get to rank 5 snacks. You get to rank 4. It's I don't know who is buying freeze-dried pickles, but it is.
That's nasty.
Welcome to the Structural Snack Down. I'm Zach Bauer, and today we have a special guest. Today we have Eric Klooz and Mike Frost from Abbott House. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
I'm glad that you guys are here, and we're going to dig into a little bit more about the Abbott House, and then we're also going to dig into some snacks. And so what happens here at the Snack Down is this, is we have 5 questions that we'll have a conversation about. With each question, we have a snack. And today, I felt it was appropriate, so we'll talk about youth and kids. These are really popular with the youths of our generation of the freeze-dried foods. So we have a variety of freeze-dried foods that we're going to snack on, and then talk a little bit about the Abbott House. And so our first one here is going to start off easy, and this one sounds the best. It is a freeze-dried caramel apple. Have you had any freeze-dried food, first and foremost?
I have not had any.
Have you heard about them?
Yep.
Yeah. My kids have been, my youngest son always wants to buy the freeze-dried foods, and so we're going to try caramel apple here. And while I open it up, I'll give you guys a chance to talk a little bit about the Abbott House. Just kind of give us a 30,000-foot view, and then maybe share a little bit about your guys' roles with the Abbott House.
Okay. Well, I could start. I'm the executive director at the Abbott House, and Abbott House is a social service agency that's been around since 1939. And back when it first started, it was as known as like a receiving home or orphanage, and provided those services all the way to the 70s when the state took over adoption services, and most agencies like the Abbott House then just closed because there was no need for them. And Abbott House hired a gentleman by the name of Ernie Peters, and he started the first ever girls treatment program in South Dakota. And I moved to Mitchell in 2005 and took over the program. And since then, we've added some intensive foster care and independent living apartments. And most recently in January, we acquired a new program in Rapid City. So now we have inpatient drug and alcohol and a crisis care program, and we're busy.
No kidding.
So,
yeah. You guys really serve the entire state.
We do, yeah, and it's been a good process in that I feel like we look at needs that kids have or things that aren't being provided today, and then we just try to meet those needs.
Yeah,
and expand into those areas for kids. So,
great, Mike.
Yes, I don't know what I can really add to it. Eric already kind of gave the whole background on Abbott House and what we do, but I'm here out of the Sioux Falls location, and I'm the assistant development director. So I meet with organizations. I'm the money guy.
Yeah,
I'm the guy,
the relationship guy.
Yes, and the relationship guy. And so I get to go out and meet with a lot of great business people here in the community and other leaders, and just share our story about what we do here at Abbott House.
Awesome. Well, I don't want to get you off the hook yet. This caramel apples. Take one and try it.
There you go.
All right.
I try not to eat into the microphone because they're a little crunchy. So.
Just imagine that it's a pickle.
Mm-hmm. But better. It's unique. I think I'd rather have an apple and caramel versus space food here.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It is. Texture, I think, is going to be the factor here. So what we'll do is we'll try all these, and then I want to get your favorite to your worst at the very end here. So kind of continuing with more of the story with Abbott House and your guys' roles, I'd love to talk a little bit and kind of dive into kind of what you guys call the letter that changed foster care. Maybe share that story and kind of share how that was a pivotal moment for Abbott House.
Sure, absolutely. So Abbott House, again, a treatment center for girls in Mitchell, and primarily we've served kids that come from abuse, neglect situations. So pretty tough cases. We like to say they come from hard places where kids come from. And going clear back to 2011, we recognized kids were coming to the Abbott House and staying as long as 6 years. And it wasn't because they needed to. It was because there was no place to go, not enough foster care. And when you've been through a severe abusive relationship, and that generally then will result in some difficult behaviors, being aggressive or not being very nice to people sometimes. And then when foster homes and foster families look at all the kids available, they don't pick you.
Yeah.
And so those kids would just stay. And we had a young lady that moved into our program by the name of Cherokee. And on a Sunday morning, she wrote a letter, and the letter said, "Dear God, please give me a family, give me somebody that I can love and that would love me back." And at the end, she said, "I don't even care if I know them or not,
Wow.
but I'd prefer to if I could." And when I came to work on Monday morning, my program director was standing in my doorway. And we've been talking about doing something for these kids for a while. And she was shaking that letter, and she said, "Eric, when are we going to do something about this?" And she slapped it on my chest and walked away. And I took it to my board president, and the next board meeting, he read the letter to the group and just said, "Guys, we should do something." And within 4 months, we raised over $1 million in Mitchell and built a couple houses. And Cherokee was the first girl placed there. She ended up graduating high school and college, and she's married over in Minnesota now. She's got 2 little boys of her own.
Wow.
And
Incredible.
really, we've used that letter from 2011 all the way till today.
Yeah.
As we expand foster homes across the state. So
Yeah.
Yep.
What an amazing story and perspective that she gave.
Yeah. The neat thing I thought was the adults. I mean, we knew this for some time.
Yeah.
But there weren't rules written and there weren't rates established with the state. So, we got scared and couldn't do it. And
Yeah.
she wrote that letter, and it changed everything.
Yeah.
So, yep.
Wow. That's amazing. That was in 2011.
Yes. Yep.
And what has happened since then from that?
Well, the first 2 homes in Mitchell there were built, and we actually built apartments on them too, so that as kids turn 18, they can move into an apartment, and we continue to support them. And the state has just continued to come back and ask us about every year and a half
Wow.
if we can do more. And so
Wow.
we added a couple more homes in Mitchell, and now we've added 6 homes out in Rapid City. A couple of years ago, we came to Sioux Falls and started 2 houses, and hopefully next year we're going to add a couple more.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yep.
That's an incredible story. To piggyback with that story, we have our next snack here, and this is chocolate-covered bananas. Feel free to enjoy. This one's a lot better.
I'll give you one.
Obviously, the letter was a pivotal point of kind of that shift in providing these homes. To kind of add on to this, what makes Abbott House, the youth services and the program, different?
Sure. Well, again, I work there.
Yep.
It's kind of my life.
Yeah.
So, not to put any other program out there down, because there's a lot of great programs
For
in
sure.
South Dakota for sure. But I really feel like we were a really small agency, and our mission statement has been to provide premier services, and kind of our mantra forever has been good enough's not good enough. And so whether we're in a treatment meeting talking about a child in the program, or we're talking about what color to paint on the walls, that statement comes up all the time. And I used to use it a lot in the early days, and now my staff use it back at me.
Yep.
Like, that's not good enough.
Yeah.
So I just feel like we've, as we like to say, we lean forward. We're just always looking for what we can do for kids. And when we run into a situation with a girl or boy today that we're not able to solve, then that usually just drives us to start looking like, why couldn't we do that? So I've been, over the years, been all over the country. When we run into an issue, the last one was working with kids that had called conduct disorder.
Okay.
We went to a program down south, and because supposedly they did a good job with it and learned all we could, and then
Wow.
brought that back. And,
Okay.
and that's really the process we use. I don't know that we're smart enough to develop everything ourselves, but we are smart enough to look out there and find it
Yeah.
and bring it home. So
Yeah.
and I think that's really what's made the difference. We got a group of people now that do that on staff. So
Yeah. And I'm guessing there's always something that you're always exploring, researching, looking into.
yep, it never ends. The last thing we did, we read a book called The Body Keeps Score, and every chapter has a chapter on trauma. And we've incorporated everything but one chapter so far.
Wow.
In our program. And,
Wow.
and again, we just keep looking. The technology just keeps advancing, and we just try to keep up with it.
Yeah. Anything to add to that, Mike?
No, I think Erica did a great job.
You're just here for the snacks.
yeah, absolutely.
Well, this next one are, I don't even know what Jolly Puffs are, but we have Jolly Puffs here.
I'm guessing kind of like a Jolly Rancher.
Must be. Very fruity smelling. As we kind of go into this next question here, and both of you guys can kind of speak into this, but how is Abbott House obviously impacting South Dakota? We've already talked about kind of the different areas you guys are based in, and what does that impact look like across the state, and the increasing need for foster care in the state? I know there's a lot there, but maybe unpack pieces of that you feel are...
Sure. I think the number of kids that need foster care in South Dakota greatly outnumbers the number of foster homes. And Mike uses a statistic all the time about, you'd have to tell us what it is, but the number of homes have decreased while the number of kids have increased by quite a bit over the years.
Has that been a trend as long as you've been in this?
Absolutely, yeah. And part of it, in South Dakota, our population's growing, and as the population grows, there's more kids in need, and I don't know if it's because of lifestyles these days, but it's tough to find families. I mean, we have 12 homes up and running today, and to find a married couple that wants to come and be a foster family 24/7 with a group of 5 or 6 kids it's a calling.
Yeah, for sure.
It's way more than a job. So. I think again, we've done a good job of telling our story and doing things like this to try to let more people know about it. Many of our families we've hired have actually not even been from South Dakota. We've
really?
all over to find them.
Wow.
But it's a very rewarding job. You got to add, Mike?
Yeah. The statistic that Eric is talking about is in the last 13 years since we started building the intensive foster care homes, we've seen the number of kids in the foster care system increase by over 36%.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah. Well, at the same time, the number of licensed foster homes have decreased by 11%. So,
wow.
Yeah, the need is great.
Yeah.
And if we don't have enough beds, then they have to send the kids out of state, which obviously is not a good scenario because we want to have the kids in the community, and hopefully, if they have family members there, we want to get them attached to those family members. So.
Yeah. Best case scenario is to keep them in South Dakota.
Yep, absolutely closer to home, and I will put a plug in for South Dakota. I won't call out any other states, but I've worked in other states, and I tell you what, working in South Dakota is great. You can call somebody from the Department of Social Services or Department of Health, and they answer the phone. And if there's an issue that we're dealing with, they're not afraid, to have those hard conversations and talk about what can we do differently, or do we need to go to legislature and look at a different piece of funding to help you guys out. And so South Dakota is a great place.
A great partner in this and helping be a solution. That's awesome. I want to talk about the next question here, kind of talk a little bit, and we can, jump into what Mike has been just dying to try, are these freeze-dried pickles for this next question. These ones are actually pretty good.
Yeah.
The Jolly Ranchers.
Yep.
I want to talk a little bit, what are these foster care homes look like? What do they look like? What are the purpose behind them? I'll share a little bit after you guys do kind of my experience of touring one of them, but maybe tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. Well, and hopefully if we do a good job of building them, you'll drive by and won't know that it's not any other house. The biggest difference is that every child gets their own bedroom, so most of them are 6-bedroom homes for the kids, and then the family has a family suite, and then we have apartments built generally on the backside. And it's, again, if you drove by, you wouldn't hardly notice it from any other home in the community other than it's large and they're really nice houses. And we would hope that you might drive by and say, "Wow, that place looks amazing! Look at that yard." That's our goal. Always is not to be. I think over the course of time, foster care probably sometimes has gotten a bad rap, and generally it's because maybe one instance or something that somebody sees in a picture. And the homes that we have, the agency owns them, we operate them, we provide the vehicles and the food, everything that the family needs. And then we have a supervisor that for every 2 houses that helps with the kids and sets up services at school or whatever is needed to help them be successful. So they're very unique and not really like any other type of foster care that's out there.
Because you're really trying to create a family dynamic within the house.
Absolutely, yep.
Yeah, I can speak to just my tour of a home here in Sioux Falls. Again, you don't really, I didn't know what to expect, didn't know what would be the expectation or what I was like. You know, you have ideas, but I was completely blown away at the home, the atmosphere. I've told many other people there's nothing measurable or tangible to say, you know, this has it, but it has this sense of love and peace and an environment there that you can just almost tangibly feel when you walk in the place. Yeah. And I'm sure that's, you know, every family has a different dynamic about their shaping, but you can just tell through your guys' process and placing that home really feels like a home that loves, that cares. And, you know, none of the kids were there when we were touring, but I mean, you just can feel it. You can see the opportunity for kids to have creativity and independence and opportunity to figure things out and have an identity of kind of what their interests are. That part I think was really cool to see, seeing kids kind of what I call, you know, flourishing in this environment. And again, I'm you know, I'm sure you talk to any parent at the house. There's days that are great, days that are rough, just like any home. There are, you know, but there is that sense of love there that you can just feel it when you walk in the place, and it's an incredible home that allows kids to walk through and work through the things in their life with safety and love around them. And I would really encourage anybody in the area to find an opportunity to tour, because you don't really get a sense until you walk in and really feel and meet the parents, you know, and really, like you said, I do think there is a calling. You know, they're passionate about it. They see this not as a job, but a calling in their life to do. And that's a huge difference maker in kids' lives for sure.
Out in Rapid City, kind of a neat story. Our families have kids that come in and stay, and some of them will stay till they graduate high school. Mm-hmm. If they have an open spot and a social worker calls, they might have a child come stay just for a weekend if something happens at their place. They just need to get away for a little bit. And in Rapid City, we had a young man that's 5 years old, and the family got the call, and they had older kids in the house. So the mom ran out and bought a few little toys because they didn't have anything like that at that home. And the young man showed up, and he was playing, and they were talking, and he came over after a while, and he said, "Are you a mom?" And she said, "Yeah, you know, I'm a mom." And he turned and looked at her, and he goes, "You could be my mom." Oh. And then he went back to playing, and it just hits your heart. And that's where these kids are at. I mean, they're searching for somebody, and they get that at the houses, so it's neat.
Yeah, you really do experience that. You really do see that. I think that's the unique thing in this is creating an environment for these kids to experience that love, experience that care, experience the direction, and walking with them and having that support system around them, along with everything else that they're a part of, is a really amazing thing. And so, like I said, I've told many people, you know, check it out, because it doesn't, you don't really experience it until you actually walk in and really feel that. So,
you know, it's interesting you say that. I like doing the tours because in watching the change from the moment they get there till they leave, it's a whole, you can just see the change in them.
Oh, for sure.
You know, like you said, and I hear that so often. It's like, it's just like a regular home. Mm-hmm. It's not what I expected to come and see today.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's one of those things you know, a lot of times in other areas you can try to manufacture something, and it's like, no, this is like the true essence of a loving home, just by the sense and the feel of the place.
Yeah. Zach, have you ever had anybody on here that had to rate the food at the end and then didn't try it all? I didn't know.
I mean, it doesn't taste like a pickle, if that's what you're concerned with.
I got no interest in a frozen pickle.
I will say, it is much worse than a real pickle.
Oh, sorry. I'm glad I'm not trying it then.
That is like a salt bomb.
It's very salty. Yeah.
Very salty. No. But it's worth a try.
Yeah, you know, the salt's not good for my complexion.
Well, this last question we can talk a little bit about, and I'd love to dig into this more with some chocolate strawberries. You don't get dessert until you eat your meal first. But I want to talk about what's kind of the biggest thing right now is the launch of the Building Bridges to a Brighter Future capital campaign here in Sioux Falls. Talk a little bit about what that is, what it entails. You mentioned a little bit here about building more homes. Talk a little bit about that, and then just kind of dive into that current campaign here.
Sure. You want to do that one, Mike?
Sure, I can do that.
The money raiser guy.
The money raiser guy. Well, like as we talked about a couple of years ago, we brought in our first 2 foster homes. We have one currently now for boys and one for girls, and there's 6 kids in each one of those houses. But the one thing we do when we're going to come into a community, we always look at what services are available there, because we're not about duplication. However, this time we're going to be increasing or adding actually in our independent living along with 2 more foster homes. So that allows us to have kids that are 16 to 21 who just need a little more time. You know, some are ready when they age out of the foster care system to go on with their life and to get a job or to go to college or whatever it is they're going to do. Others need a little more time, and they just need that help to help them, as they're growing and they're learning. You think about being 18 and all the questions you have. And I mean, I'm also glad to have my parents around to help me through that process. And that's really what this allows them to do. And those independent living apartments are attached right on to the house.
Okay.
So they're right there. So if they're separate, so they get their independence, but at the same time, they still have that. If they have questions, there's someone they can talk to and visit and ask for help. And it might be as simple as, how do I manage my budget, and how do I buy groceries and that? And they have to have a job, or they have to go to school, and they pay rent on that. But the really cool thing is that they don't know about is that as long as they don't damage the apartment, when they get ready to leave, we give that money back to them to help them as they get started in their lives.
That's really cool. Yep. So this capital campaign, launched in April, runs till September.
July 31st.
End of
July. Yep. What's kind of the goal in this campaign right now?
We're planning to raise $3 million, and we've gotten some bids for the home so far. They're just very preliminary, because we're still working with construction management groups on it, but thinking it's going to be around 2.6 million probably to build the houses. We're hoping that we get partners to come alongside and donate some of the materials. I just happened to run into Greg Sands this week, and Pierre and him and his wife already talked to us about they'd like to help out in that way, and some of the materials for the houses, which is great. It'll bring the cost down. And if we can raise our goal, and then if the cost of the homes is a little bit less than that, anything that's left over will go into the Sioux Falls Area Community Foundation.
Awesome.
To help establish an endowment. And then the interest off that every year just helps us to do things at the house. So keep siding and roofing and all that, all those things going, so it looks nice for the long term. Yeah. So
goals to raise this campaign, hopefully start construction 27.
Yep. Hopefully in the spring. Next year.
And then hopefully to start placing by end of year. 27.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Yep. So that'll give the total of 4 homes here in Sioux Falls.
Yep.
Awesome. How can people learn more and participate and partner with Abbott House in this campaign?
I think probably one of the easiest ways, like if you're out there, is to just go to our website, abbotthouse.org, and there's places on there where you can watch videos, and there's obviously a donate button as well. You can definitely donate, or again, we'd love to, as you said, give tours. If you're out there and you're thinking this sounds like a pretty cool thing, but you're not sure, if you contact Mike here in Sioux Falls, we can get a tour set up and take you through a house. And again, as Mike said, if you come and take a tour, you will leave with a whole different perspective than you walked in with. So
yeah, for sure.
And I think the other thing you can go to the website if you want to look at volunteer opportunities. We're always looking for volunteers. There's always opportunities to help out at one of the houses, and it can be a lot of simple things. It can be as easy as bringing a meal and maybe giving the parents a break, or doing a craft with the girls, or maybe taking the boys to the park, or there's just lots of different things you can do.
That's awesome. Yeah. And I encourage any business that's listening, organization here to, I know Rayco, we have committed this year to partnering with you guys at Abbott House and donating to the capital campaign and volunteering. And I would highly encourage anyone else out there to learn more about you guys, find ways that you can partner. I think the first and immediate need is to partner with this campaign so we can get more homes built, and then find ways that you can volunteer and donate however your company can fit that in and find ways to be creative. I'm sure you guys are open to creative ideas to volunteer and be part of that, because I do think it's important, especially for us at Rayco, being part of our community and meeting the needs in our community and making an impact. And I think this is one of those tremendous ways that is a growing need in our state, in our community, and you guys are on the front lines providing that. And I think in a way that's, I think, a blessing to what you guys do and how you guys approach this and what you guys have created. Obviously, your staff and your team, I think, is a tremendous blessing to have you in Sioux Falls and throughout the state. And what you're doing is tremendous. So on behalf of us, I'd say thank you for all that you guys do and championing and raising money to help get kids into these homes will make a lasting impact in their lives. And I think that's a blessing that you guys provide. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Well, this is the time that we get to rank. We get to rank 5 snacks. You get to rank 4. It's I don't know who is buying freeze dried pickles, but it is
That's nasty.
not on my list of things. So
Yeah.
give me your favorite one.
I would have to say it was the Jolly Puffs.
Yeah,
Yeah, me too.
I
Jolly
agree.
Almost like
Puffs.
cotton candy.
It is very good. I would agree with that. Then I'd probably go the bananas,
Yep.
apples, strawberries, pickles. That would be mine.
I would agree with that.
Pickles last?
Yeah, I know. That's shocking. I know. It's really hard to believe.
Well, I appreciate you guys coming on and sharing the story. Again, I encourage you, description in our link here, we'll have all the addresses, websites to go learn more. And I would highly encourage you to schedule a tour and check out these homes, find a way to partner, make an impact in these youth's lives and help them achieve what they're called to do. And so thank you again, and I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, thanks
Thank
for
you.
having us.
Thanks so much. Yep.